What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Lore of the 40K Universe. This time we are diving deep into the war gear and armory of the Grey Knights. Starting off with melee, we have the Nemesis Force weapons. These are ancient relics of a forgotten age, their creation blending with the sacred science of the Adeptus Mechanicus and the mystical energies of the warp. Once a Grey Knight has been attuned to his blade, he can use it as a conduit for his will, channeling raw psychic power down its length and into his foes. Years of training can allow a skilled swordsman to need only scratch his foe in order to deliver a surge of psychic energy which will extinguish his soul. The Force weapons include the Nemesis Force Sword. A Force sword can take many forms. They are crafted using arcane magic and complex scientific formulas in order to produce a psychically enhanced power field, which makes the sword nearly indestructible. It is the perfect weapon for parrying the powerful demonic attacks. Nemesis falchions are always used in pairs. They are essentially two smaller swords containing monofilament circuitry that greatly enhance the swinging speed in close combat. Nemesis Force halberds are as ancient as the Grey Knights themselves. These weapons are finely crafted polearms with a long curved blade, deadly in close and mid-ranged battles. Nemesis Demon Hammers are often used by the Inquisition. This weapon combines the crushing power of a hammer with the arcane destruction of the warp itself. Nemesis Doomfist is a variant of the massive power fists found on dreadnoughts. These weapons can easily crush a man in its grip. They are currently only equipped on Nemesis Dreadknights. The Nemesis Greatsword is a massive blade of silver and iron so large that a space marine cannot lift it. Despite its size, it is perfectly balanced in the hands of a dreadknight, and just as deadly as well. The Nemesis Warding Stave is a weapon that is really complicated to build. The psychic core of this weapon can only be activated by the wielder, which it was created for. Every stave has a headpiece of punishingly rare purity. Some have imperial skulls of saints, or even a Grey Knight's Justicar's skull covered in gold. Ranged weapons. The Astartes Stormbolters are common among the Grey Knights and are mounted on the wrists to allow their hands the freedom they need for their force weapons. Incinerators fire heavy flames that use a psychically charged promethium which burns hotter than regular promethium. It is extremely effective against the demons of chaos. Silencers channel the wielder's psychic might into an amplified energy pulse through the use of crystals in this weapon. This technology seems to be of Xenos origin, since the Imperium has had nothing quite like it to date. The Psi Cannon is an ancient weapon whose manufacturing process has been long lost to the Imperium. It fires Psi-bolt ammunitions, and the gun incorporates anti-gravity suspenders to allow it to be used on the move. The Aegis armor and Aegis Terminator armor are inscribed with psychic prayers and wards to help fend off demons. It is also ritually consecrated and psychically charged to aid in conjuring psychic abilities and harnessing warp energy. Purity seals on the armor help against physical and psychic attacks. Relics of the Grey Knights. The Augury Malefica, a heavily modified Auspex scanner which can detect malignant demonic auras, and on rare occasions predict an imminent warp breach. Currently the Death Watch have possession of it, but the Grey Knights believe it to be stolen by the World-Bearer's Chaos Legion. The Blade of Antwer is a chaos-spawned weapon which has proven itself to be indestructible. Currently it is sealed in a vault within the fortress monastery of the Grey Knights. Its chaotic whispers still echo in the Grey Knight's ears. Therefore, a decision was made to have Castellan Garen Crow of the Purifiers to wield it against the powers of chaos. The blade continuously brings him tempting thoughts of power if he succumbs to chaos, but his will does not falter. The bone shard of Solar. The thigh bone of a brother captain, Solar was used as a stake to slay the bloodthirstier Kabanda. Ever since, it has proven especially effective against any Khorne demon. As the demonic warp gate opens, the bone vibrates, alerting the Grey Knights of any demonic incursions. The Curious of Sacrifice is a master-forged suit of power armor whose interior is etched with the names of the many regiments, orders, and chapters that have fought alongside the Grey Knights. Those who fight the creatures of the warp and survive are either mind-wiped or killed in order to keep the secrecy of the Grey Knights intact, and this armor is a reminder of their sacrifice. The Domina Liber Demonicus. Many Grey Knights carry this book. It is a tool as great a sword or bolter towards vanquishing demons. This relic contains all 666 words of banishment, which are used to send demons reeling back into the warp. The Fury of Deimos is a storm bolter sent as a gift to the Grey Knights by the Adeptus Mechanicus. It is superior to a regular storm bolter in every way. The Nemesis Banner is a psychic light emitted by the banner which sears away demons' very presence. The Soul Glaive. Over centuries of war, a Grey Knight's psychic essence may imprint itself on their weapon. Sometimes this imprint lasts after their death. One can then combine one's own psychic power with the imprinted weapon's own power, resulting in a weapon of intense destructive capabilities. The Soul Glaive is such a weapon, a halberd that was imprinted with the 13th Supreme Grandmaster Calthorn's psychic essence. The Terminus Decree. Deep within the Grey Knight's Fortress Monastery lies a wooden box with a golden seal. It has been kept secret from all of the Imperium. Only the Grandmasters know of its existence, and only they can open it. The secrets within can save humanity. There's only one other box like it, and it sits next to the golden throne of the Emperor. The Titan Sword. This legendary sword has been wielded by Grandmasters and has been given many names: Mind's Edge, Foebane, Life Drinker. Legends say that the Emperor forged this very sword, and when Malkador the Sigillite took the first Grey Knights to Titan, he carried this blade with him. Renamed Titan Sword by the first Supreme Grandmaster Janus, this blade will unleash its true power once it has been psychically attuned to its wielder. Psychic powers of the Grey Knights. The Warp Rift. With a simple gesture, a Grey Knight librarian is able to rip apart the material world, vanquishing his enemies to the realm of the warp. Warpquake, a psychic ability which causes the warp to tremor, causing anyone or anything using its power to falter. The Vortex of Doom is a pocket dimension of warp energy that can be summoned to tear apart anyone in the vortex's vicinity. The Summoning. The user calls upon his allies, allowing the Immaterium to teleport them to his side. The Grey Knight must know them personally and know their name in order to recognize their warp presence. Smite. Lethal bolts of lightning leap from the Grey Knight's fingertips, tearing his enemies apart in a barrage of psychic energy. The Shrouding, a protective psychic barrier which extends out in a 20-meter radius and allows the Grey Knight's protection from ranged attacks as well as restricting their enemy's vision. Sanctuary. Chanting words of binding, this psychic shield impedes anyone within a 10-meter radius except Grey Knight allies. Quicksilver, a psychic blessing which increases one's reflexes by an uncanny amount. Hammerhand, a psychic power in which the physical blows of a Grey Knight are amplified substantially. Mind Blades. The Great Knight blesses the blades and other melee weapons of his own or his allies, and thus increases their accuracy. They can even help guide blows to find weak spots in armor, allowing them to quickly dispatch their enemies. The Might of Titan, the librarian and those near him have had their muscles boosted in terms of strength and agility. The Canticle of Absolution, an ancient rite used to banish demons and purify locations, also known as the 666 Words. Dark Excommunication, an enchantment that severs a demon's bond to his dark master, thus weakening him immensely. Hammerhand, this enchantment allows a Grey Knight to fight with the power of the warp. Even unarmed, an enchanted warrior can crush bone and even armor. Given a blade or hammer, there is little limit to what they can do. Holocaust, a group of Grey Knights can harness their psychic power, and as long as everyone stays focused, can incinerate opponents at close range. It is capable of burning demons to mere ash. This power is especially terrifying because whatever is destroyed by it dies in the warp as well, its spirit extinguished like a candle. It will burn the souls of mortals to nothingness and banishes demons like a bad dream. This power is a lesser version of the extraordinary final burst of psychic power used by the Emperor to destroy Horus's soul at the end of the Horus Heresy. Walkers. Dread Knights. A stronger, more advanced version of a dreadnought used to combat greater demons and demon princes. The versatility of this walker has allowed it to wield great swords, axes, as well as side cannons and other heavy weaponry. Aegis Dreadnoughts. Unlike other Marine chapters, Grey Knights would rather die fighting than be interned into a dreadnought. They are further protected by the Aegis armor, which is inscribed with protective incantations. Many times the mere sight of these sarcophagi have raised the morale of their battle brothers, and each dreadnought is essentially a living legend. The pilots are either experienced captains or old grandmasters. Once again, we are at the end of another lore video. That was 40 facts on the armory of the Grey Knights. Let me know what you guys want to hear about next time in the comments below. As always, like, comment, and share this video. I have been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, signing out.